In the last 4 years of running, I've set a couple course records in a 100-mile race and a 50-mile race. I ran 10 marathons in 10 days. I had a 933-day running streak, and I've learned a lot over the span of 4 years that I think is very helpful for other runners that are trying to improve or get better. And one thing that's absolutely important, I think, for anyone, no matter how you go about it, what I think is really important is some sort of morning routine. And I think, just to be clear, I think a lot of people do too much or overcomplicate morning routines or don't give themselves grace if they don't do it every single time. But there's no need, I think, for a 2-hour morning routine. If it works for you, that's great. But for me, what I want to be able to do is do as little as possible so I can get into the right mindset and space for the rest of the day. So if you have a 2-hour morning routine, it's nothing against you. I just don't think all this stuff is needed to get on with their day, especially when it comes to running. Now, you should find what works for you, but I'm going to share a couple things that I think have been super helpful, especially when it comes to getting up early, because I know that it's something that is really difficult for people. And so I'm going to talk about what I've done to be able to get up in the morning, because it's just as hard for me as it is anyone else, but I have some tips and tools to get up and going and get after my run. If you like running, stories, tips, and tricks, I'm an ultra runner. I've set a couple course records, and I'm just trying to share and help people be fitter and faster and avoid injury. So hit that subscribe button. If not, totally cool too. I hope you get some value out of this video. So the first thing when it comes to morning routine, and this is so important, and I think it's actually the most important part of my morning routine, is this actually happens the night before. So I really like to set myself up for success and make it easier when I get into the morning, when I wake up and my alarm goes off. And what I do is I set my shoes out at the foot of my bed with socks. I put the clothes I'm going to wear after my shower on the bathroom counter, and I get the clothes I'm running in and get them out of the drawers in a place that I can grab. And then I set a glass of water on my nightstand. And so what I've done is I put my alarm across the room, so I have to get up to turn it off. And instead of having it super close, because you get the snooze, roll over and fall asleep. I've made that mistake plenty of times. But when I get up, the alarm goes off at whatever time, and then I immediately chug a glass of water and I get dressed. Because what this does is it kind of takes all the thinking out of the morning, because there's these tasks that are easy to do. So I'm not, even if I do have some thoughts of I don't want to run, or I'm tired, or I'm sore, or whatever, because these things are so much easier to do in the morning because I've set myself up for success the night before, you get this little bit of momentum rolling. And I found that drinking water wakes me up pretty fast if I just chug that glass of water. And so that's the biggest part of my morning routine, is setting myself up for success the night before. Now, after that, after I took the water and get dressed, I go to the bathroom because I need to, take a piss. It's been 8 hours since I've done that or whatever, so I do that. And then, depending on the morning, I might eat a little bit, or I might just have a cup of coffee, depending on how long the run is. Most of the time, I just do all of that, and then I brush my teeth right before I go out, and then I go for a run. So my morning routine, I can get done in 20 minutes. And what this does is it gets that snowball rolling much faster than doing a bunch of things that almost tire me out before I start running. Now, if I want to meditate or read or journal, I do that after my run, because I find that I've woken up at that point. I feel like I've already succeeded at the day by doing something hard like working out or running, and then I can do all those other things that I want to do. But to me, running's the most important thing, so I want to do the right things to do, get in the right space for running as fast as possible so I can get that out of the way. Now, some things I've experimented with that I don't always do, but I think is really nice for getting ready for a run in the morning is breath work. And this is something I've been experimenting with for maybe the last 6 months, where after I go to the bathroom, drink some water, and change, sitting down or laying down and doing some Wim Hof breathing or some box breathing. And especially if I'm not necessarily feeling well and it's going to be a little bit harder to get out and run, this kind of wakes me up and just gets that oxygen in, and I found that there's this little bit of an energy boost, which is nice. And even if it doesn't like really make me physically feel better, mentally I feel more grounded and centered. And so if I already know I'm going to have a tough time mentally on a run, because not all days are great, some are, but not all of them, this breathing kind of chills me out, and it gets rid of some anxiety and gets me in a more positive mindset. And so I've been doing this kind of on and off, just because, again, I want to get out running as fast as I can and get that out of the way. But if I feel like I need a little boost, or I'm just kind of being like, mentally, just a little bitch mentally, the breathing and intentional breathing for only like 5 minutes or 10 minutes maybe gets me in a better mindset and headspace so I can really get after my run. So super simple morning routine. There's other things I've tried, but to me, I just want to get out running as fast as possible. So if I set myself up for success the night before, I'm way more likely to get after my run instead of procrastinating in the morning. So I hope that helps you. And again, if you like stuff like this, hit that subscribe button. If not, that's totally cool. I hope you got something out of this video to implement yourself. And I hope to see you sometime soon on the trails or in the next video. Peace!